Hello everyone, welcome to the brief explainer on how to set up a project in iNaturalist to join NRPA's Parks for Pollinators BioBlitz. My name is Rukmini Kalamangalam. I am program specialist at NRPA and part of the team that runs the Parks for Pollinators BioBlitz. And here in 2026, it is our 8th year running the Parks for Pollinators BioBlitz, so we figured we would just go ahead and do a little refresher on how to set up your project in iNaturalist. So we're going to start here on the iNaturalist homepage, inaturalist.org, and we're going to go ahead and log in. So one quick note here, you will not be able to set up a project for your BioBlitz in iNaturalist until you have at least 50 verified observations. So you are going to want to go ahead and create your iNaturalist account and, click some pictures in your backyard or your local park well before the BioBlitz starts in September and before you come to set up your project. So let's say, you have your 50 verified observations, or you've been using iNaturalist for years and you have 500 observations. Wherever you're at, you're going to come here to projects to begin your journey. One note is that if you have run a Parks for Pollinators BioBlitz before, you may already have your project set up, and you can just go in here and duplicate your project and update it for this current year. But if you've never done a project before, you want to start from scratch, you want to click here, Start Project. So we're going to be welcomed, and then we're going to choose what kind of project we're going to do. So all of you are going to focus on collection projects. The NRPA umbrella project is an umbrella project because we add all of your collection projects to it. Unfortunately, you can't add an umbrella project to an umbrella project. So we really ask that all of you do collection projects so that we can add you properly to our national page. So you're going to get started. A lot of this information is already prepped for you in the NRPA BioBlitz toolkit. You can get access to that toolkit by going to our BioBlitz page, nrpa.org/BioBlitz. There will be a widget there where you give us your name, your email address, and we send you an email that says, welcome to the 2026 BioBlitz. Here is a link to our toolkits and our resources, and the toolkit includes a step-by-step written out explanation of how you put together your project. It also includes, resources such as a project banner. It has a template for project summary, and it tells you, all of these details so you don't have to come up with this stuff yourself. So for project name, we're going to go with Parks for Pollinators 2026 : This is going to be the same across all of our 2026 projects. So all of you are going to start here. And then after the colon, you're going to put in your location. So let's say I want to do a project at NRPA headquarters. That's going to be in Ashburn, Virginia. That's what I'm going to put after the colon. For a project summary, you could copy and paste from the toolkit, or you could put something as simple as welcome to our 2026 BioBlitz page. You could also put in here the dates of your events if you're hosting events in parks. You could also put in here locations. You could put, any other information you want people to have. So we already discussed project type. We're going to go with collection. And here in observation requirements is where we are going to get a little bit specific. So because we are Parks for Pollinators and this BioBlitz does focus on pollinators, we are going to be specific about what taxa we are going to include. So each and every one of the BioBlitz projects in our national umbrella are going to include the following taxa. It's going to be hummingbirds, plants, beetles, ants, wasps, and sawflies, flies, bats, and butterflies and moths. So these are the correct taxa for you to use. We need everybody's project to include these specific taxa, no more, no less. And if we see that your project does not have these specific taxa, we are going to reach out to you or come and see your project and just adjust that for you. So please, just double check when you are setting up your project that this is correct. Then we're going to include a place. So, we want to do ours at NRPA headquarters. So we're going to look for Ashburn, Virginia. but unfortunately that is not a place. So at the end of this project setup, I'm going to come back to how to create a place. But for now, we're going to pretend like we're somewhere else. And let's say we are in Atlanta and we want to include a couple of different parks in our BioBlitz. So we're going to go with community. We're going to go with, Constitution Lakes Park. And we're going to see what else is out there. Let's look up Atlanta. Maybe we'll go with, the Botanical Garden. Maybe we'll go with also including Atlanta Memorial Park. You can add as many parks as you want here. And you could also just add your region. So let's say you wanted to include all of Atlanta. You could do Metro Atlanta in and around 285 perimeter. You could also do, if you wanted to do a specific county, you could do DeKalb County, you could do Fulton County, etc. So it is up to you what areas you want to include for your BioBlitz. But you want to make sure that you have a place here, because if you leave your BioBlitz project without a place, it collects all of this information across all of September 2026 worldwide. And if you leave it like that, we will not be able to include it because it will skew all of the rest of our data. So since we don't know, we don't have a place here for Ashburn, we're going to leave this blank for now. Come back to it. And where it says include users, we are not going to include any users. So the problem with including users is, like, let's say you want to include NRPA Parks for Pollinator as a user because you like us and you want us to be able to contribute to your project. When you add users here, it tells iNaturalist, these are the people I want to hear from. So unfortunately, it's not going to let anyone else's observations show up on your project. So you want to leave this blank. Okay, what's next? Project members only. Again, we want to include observations by anyone who's using iNaturalist in your park at the right time, who takes a picture of a pollinator. So we're going to not check this box. We are going to say we don't need our observations to be annotated with a particular attribute, so we have none here. We want all kinds of data quality, research grade, needs ID, and casual. So when you take a picture and upload an observation to iNaturalist, it does go to a team of experts to identify what kind of object it is, which is, it says here research grade. But we actually want to be able to count all of the photographs that people take for our project, whether or not they are blurry or whether or not they are clearly identifiable. We want to include it all. Okay, so we don't want to filter for any kind of media type. We are okay with, any type of media that people upload, and we're not differentiating between native and introduced plants here. We're going to say any. So for the date observed, we are going to pick a range. So you could pick a specific date if you had a BioBlitz just on one day, but for most projects, we are just going to want to include all of September. So we'll go to September here, start on September 1st and on September 30th. And the main thing you want to be careful about here is deleting these times out, because otherwise the only observations that are going to be counted are between 11:45 to 4. I'm not sure why iNaturalist does that, but it does auto-populate those times, so just go ahead and take those out. We don't want to do months, because if you pick months, it doesn't allow you to pick a year. And so it'll collect all the BioBlitz data from all the Septembers across all time. So we want to be specific. This is September 2026. Okay. This is kind of like an optional little section here. You can allow members to trust this project with hidden coordinates. That's really for if you're taking photographs of, plants or animals that are endangered. So it's up to you whether or not you click this box. So we are going to want y'all to add NRPA Parks for Pollinators as an admin. The only issue with adding us as an admin is that we do have to be existing members of your project. So if we were existing members of your previous project and you duplicated a project, then we will already be added as an admin, or you'll be able to add us easily. If not, what most people will do is when you give us your information about your project, we will come to your project and add ourselves as a member, and then reach out to you and ask you to promote the NRPA Parks for Pollinators user to admin status. So don't worry about this for right now. Just know that it'll be coming down the pipeline once you submit your project information to us. All right, that's it. Let's click done. And we're going to wait for iNaturalist to load. But that is everything that you need for your project. And so once your project is complete and you see a page like this, you will go to the NRPA website, you will click on the link to submit your project, you will give us this information, here's the name of my project, here's a link to my project, and then we will add you to the NRPA umbrella. And we will reach out to you via email or via iNaturalist if we see that anything is wrong with your project or we need to update anything to go ahead and get those changes made. So please be on the lookout for that. So that is it. Unfortunately, our project still doesn't have any location. So as you can see, the location says worldwide because we couldn't find Ashburn. So now we are going to go and figure out how to add a place. So we're going to go to the top here. We're going to go to places and we are going to search for a place. We are looking for Ashburn, Virginia. We see that there is nothing there. We are not finding what we want, so we are going to add a new place. So adding a new place on iNaturalist really slows the website down, and they have, some boundaries around how you can add a place. So if you are looking to add a place and you need some support, we at NRPA can create a place for you. So you're welcome to email us, or when you submit your project information, there will be a section for you to tell us if your place is not available on iNaturalist, and we can help you out. But if you feel confident and you feel like you can add your place, you can give it a name. So here we're going to say NRPA headquarters, Ashburn, Virginia, USA. And then you're going to upload your KML file. So a KML file is a specific type of file. You can make it in Google Earth. We can make it for you, but oftentimes park and recreation agencies will have someone who does create KML files. So if you want, you can, shoot us the KML file via email, or you can upload it here. And so you'll upload your file, you'll choose your place type. Let's say it's an open space because it's a park, and then you'll save your place. So I'm not going to save a place here because I don't have a file uploaded, but just a heads up, it does take a while for your new place to get added on iNaturalist. And if you want NRPA to add it, please be aware that we can only add 3 places in a 24-hour window. So the sooner that you reach out to us and we are able to create your place for you, the better. And just a heads up, you don't need a KML file to be able to ask NRPA to upload a place for you. If you give us the boundaries on Google Maps, or you send us a picture of the boundaries of your park, we will be able to create a KML file for you in Google Earth. All right, so that's about it. Just make sure that once you create your project, you do go to nrpa.org/bioblitz and follow the steps listed there and submit your project information to finish your sign up. If you don't finish your sign up, you don't give us your project information, we may not be able to find you. So typically we do search for projects that have that Park Pollinators 2026 label. So just make sure you're labeling your project correctly and make sure that you are sharing that information with us. And if you need any support, or you created your project and you updated it and you don't see it uploaded on the NRPA umbrella project, you can reach out to us. You can email resilience@nrpa.org and we'll be happy to help. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.